Welcome back to the Old Barn on Ann Street. Today I want to tell you what our loft and the Old Barn on Ann Street has to do with that boat that's behind us. So this boat is called a Dory. A Shelburne Dory, to be exact. It's a boat that was built in Shelburne for many, many years. In fact, it's one of the industries that Shelburne was most famous for in the 1800s and the early 1900s. And for years and years, this was the place that these dories were built. In fact, in 1880, this building was built, a dory factory, and it was built by a man named John Williams. Today, this building remains as a museum, a dory shop museum, as part of the museum complex here in Shelburne. You should go take a tour. It's an amazing experience. But as it turns out, this same John Williams also owned the Old Barn on Ann Street from 1887 to 1939. For 52 years, he was the longest single owner of the Old Barn on Ann Street. And as it turns out, in the early days, he used to build dories up in the loft of the Old Barn on Ann Street. So let me take you back to a year ago when we first walked into the barn, the first day we were up there cleaning it out, and let me show you around. So today I want to show you the loft in the barn. We're not really sure yet what we're going to do up here in the loft. This is just a wide open space with all kinds of possibilities. Today's my first day up here. I'm starting to clean up and do some things, but I wanted to show you around a little bit. So when you come up the loft, you see over here, it's just a beautiful spot. I mean, it's this big old high ceiling loft. There's a side door for, I think, kind of loading up the bales of hay or whatever. And it goes way up here, nice big loft, almost a full other story up there if you put a flooring up there. And there it is. So it's two levels. You have to step up from the new level, quote new, up to the level of the original barn. Yeah, so we're sorting through all this stuff. It's got an interesting history. You can see right here, there once was a fire in here, and I'm surprised they were able to put it out because that's a lot of fire, a lot of wood burning. I'm sure they replaced some of the wood, but yeah, there was a fire in here. This used to be this barn way back when used to be owned by one of the dory builders, shipbuilders in town, and he was probably he used this upper level. There's a main barn door or main door over there where you could load in and out from the street, and he used to make boats up here. And I guess what we were told is that his tar pot, where you melt the tar and put a coat on the boat, to keep it watertight, is what caught fire and started this whole thing. So probably well over 100 years ago. So this is what the loft looks like after I've been sorting things for a couple hours, and I've made different areas here. Like over here, this is wood that we can repurpose and reuse in other parts, other projects. There's also much more wood up in the rafters as well. Over there in the corner are some things that we'd like to keep or use. There's barrels, and it's really cool. We found that there's these two really old radios there that are pretty cool looking. We haven't tried them out to see if they work, but those are pretty neat. We're going to see what we're going to do with those. But yeah, this is a wide open space up here. Over there in the corner is the stuff to be thrown away. And this is the stuff here that we'll probably sell online or give away or find a new home for. But there's one thing I wanted to show you. I found this thing. It was this big long pole with these orange pieces of canvas hanging on them. If you saw that earlier in the video, you can see where they're just kind of hanging down, and we were wondering what they were. And I had a hard time figuring out. I had no idea what they were until I found something else. And you won't believe what I think this is. It's the curtain for a stage. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's possible. That means it's possible that this barn might be the beginning of community theater here in Shelburne. I mean, they could have had plays in here or did other performances, but this is cool. So I hope you like the loft. Who knows what it's going to turn into, but welcome. Keep following us. You'll see what happens next. See you soon. I hope you enjoy enjoyed that quick tour of that barn the first days we were up in the barn a year ago. Here's a clip of next week when we start the work. It starts looking like that, then it looks like that, and then that, and then that. So eventually, when it's all said and done, all you'll be able to see is this. Thanks for joining me this week on the old barn on Ann Street. Next week, we're going to start that work in the loft. I'd love for you to join me. Better yet, why don't you click the barn logo and subscribe. See you next week.